Good afternoon. Welcome on this rainy day. First of all, in Tennessee, I'd like to say that I'm extremely proud of our effort that we gave in the game and the way we played. But I told our players last night in the team meeting that I don't want them to be satisfied with just giving great effort. That when you lose, you lose. Our mindset going into the game was to definitely come out with a win. We knew it was going to be a difficult challenge playing an SEC team, but I didn't want them to be satisfied with just giving great effort and playing like I thought we might play and playing very tough. And I mentioned to the players in the pre-game speech that I wanted them to listen to the echoes of our past players that have gone into teams into places like this in the SEC, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, and listen to the players and feel the players that have been in the situation and gave great effort and performed really well. So that I was extremely proud of our players. In terms of Butch Jones, I have great respect for him and the program that he has established there at Tennessee. I told him, I grabbed him after the game, we hugged for quite a bit and had some conversation, and I told him I appreciated him not trying to score on the last drive. And I said, I appreciate that, I respect you for that, But we had a long conversation about the things we did today in that game and looking forward to wishing each other the best of luck in their 2 games remaining to get themselves, obviously they're bowl eligible, but to get themselves in a really good bowl. They're a very good football team, like I mentioned to you before. I think that's a team that could have very well been, sitting at 7-2 before coming into our game. But the one thing I am very disappointed in was that we were shut out. That's something that we pride ourselves offensively to make sure we don't get shut out. The last time it happened when we were at Alabama, and I was very disappointed, and I mentioned that to the offense yesterday in the meeting that we're not making enough plays. We're moving the ball. We were moving the ball up and down the field, continuing drives, but in critical situations we didn't make enough plays. The quarterback play wasn't up to par, the standard that I expect him to play at, and was disappointed in his play. We had 3 drops, maybe even 4 drops, considered 4 drops, that could have extended drives, given us a chance to make some plays there late in the game. We've got to be able to make that play on the 10-yard line, would have given us a chance to put the ball in the end zone late, which would have given us some good confidence going in the middle. And we just got to be better outside at the receiver position, making plays when the ball's in our area. And then we got to eliminate the sacks in critical situations. We're their 1st and 10 on the 40 or 45, ready to go in, and we take a chance on the throw, and we have protection issue. And a lot of that's not just on the lineman; that's on the quarterback hitting its back foot and making the throw and getting the ball down the field. When you play a team like a team from the SEC, much like Tennessee or anybody else, you can't leave plays on the field, and we left way too many plays on the field offensively. The game plan was it played out exactly how I thought it would. We wanted to slow the game down. We wanted to start our mechanics at the line of scrimmage at about 10 seconds. Break the huddle and the muddle huddle, get up to the line of scrimmage, see the defensive structure, and make our call or execute the call like it was. And it played out like we thought, and we were able to keep them off the field, which we wanted to do, limit their possessions. They're usually averaging about 14 to 15 possessions a game, Tennessee was, and we limited them to 10. So that's one thing that we really wanted to do, and it worked out for us. It helped our defense. It slowed the game down. It kept our defense fresh, which was good, and like I said, it limited their possessions. The one thing I think we got to continue to do is find a way to get pressure on the quarterback. When he's able to sit back there and throw the ball, and if a kid's on and he's in rhythm, he can make some pretty good plays. But we got to find a way to continue to put pressure on the quarterback. And I talked to the defense about making sure, see if we can keep him out the first couple drives until we can get our feet wet. And offensively, I told them the same thing. We got to score in our first 2 drives. We haven't scored, and that's something that we're going to continue to work on this week. And we feel like we have 2 games left that we feel like we compete very, very well and give ourselves a chance to be successful. I think we can be better in all phases still, offensively, defensively, and special teams. And we tried the trick play. We thought it was there. It looked like it was there. We worked it all week long. The player that was coming on the charge felt it and made a nice play on it. But we felt like it was an opportunity. We had to take those chances, just like when it was 4th and short. We needed to take those chances. But we had to delay a game. But the one before that, on the 3rd and short, if we follow our guard, it's a first down. So little things like that, when you're playing a team like this, you just cannot afford not to execute properly. And we've got to be better in execution in critical situations, especially playing a team like that. But, I'm not into small victories. I believe that we gained a lot of respect about the University of North Texas and our program again. But I think we can use this and gain confidence from it as we go on into middle. In regards to middle, I've known Rick back in his days when he was at Clemson, and he and I were on the recruiting road together. Many times we'd see each other on the road and talk, and then it's funny how we're in a familiar territory again. In that in 2010, I was the interim head coach, and we went up to Middle Tennessee and won up there. So it's something that I'm sure he's talking to his players about. That Coach Canales, Mike Canales, came up here with his team with a lot of emotion and energy, and got a win here. And so I'm sure he'll talk about that. And and I've talked to our kids about that we went up there in the same situation and we came in with a victory. So I'm sure that's something that they'll talk about. Middle Tennessee right now is fighting for bowl eligibility, and it's senior day, so we know they're going to play extremely hard for their seniors. And we will in 2 weeks when we play against when we play UTEP here. So I know those are some of the things that they're talking about, and their seniors are going to take great pride in. They're coming off a great road win against FAU in the rain. It was a rainstorm all throughout the game, and they were able to hold on and get the win. And they played very well. I thought they played really well offensively and defensively. Their team is scoring a lot of points, and his son is at quarterback, left-handed, throws the ball really well. They're aggressive in their play calling. They want to push the ball down the field. They create a lot of different formations and looks off a little different than I've seen back in 2010. It was more of a 3-by-1, 2-by-2 set, and now there's a lot of flash motion, speed sweeps, play action off it. So they're trying to create some plays to get people behind the defenders to create the big play. Defensively, Coach Nix has done a great job. We faced him here 2 years ago when they were in our place, and so he hasn't changed much of his MO. He's a blitz, aggressive style of defense. The one thing I've noticed that stands out to me is their style of play. They're playing with a lot of emotion and enthusiasm. You see it on big plays. They're jumping up and down. They're celebrating together, things that I'm trying to get our guys to do, on a regular basis on the field, and I see that out of them. So they're very much ride the wave as they're going, and if they're playing well, you really see it, and it stands out to me. That's the thing that I look at and go, wow, how is their team playing? Are they excited on the sideline? You see them jumping up and down. Those things tell me that the team's involved. They want to be bowl eligible, so they're going to fight their butts off, as I know that. It's going to be a heck of a challenge for us. It's our third road game back to back to back. But it's definitely a challenge. We haven't won on the road yet, and we need to get a win. And that's the mindset as we prepared last night in our practice, our Sunday practice. As I told them, I said I want to come out with great focus. I want us to play with a determined soul, and I want everybody focused in. There's no clowning around. And I kind of lost my temper a little bit last night. One of my guys kind of overcooked my refried beans, and I let him have a little bit because I want the focus. I want them to understand the focus this week has to be so strong that we go in there and we give ourselves a chance to win. And we feel like we can go and compete with Middle Tennessee. It'll be a great challenge for us. I'm excited about it. I wish it was Tuesday so we can get back on the field because I want to get going. And I was probably a little juiced up last night, and I want them to feel that. I want them to feel how important this game is to us and to this program and to our staff. So it'll be a great challenge. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll leave it at that and open up to some questions.
How are you guys health-wise? You go into an SEC venue, a lot of times you come out pretty beat up. How are you guys health-wise?
We got some nicks and bruises. We got one that may not play this week. We won't know till probably later today whether or not he'll be able to go. But, we played a lot of linemen, the offensive linemen up front, and they did a great job. They did some really good. Jordan Murray, Creighton Barr, Garrett Gunner. They did some really good things to go out there. Not Aaron Fortenberry. Talking about Baby Fortenberry was in there. He kind of looked like Fort too. I was like, it looks just like his brother. But, we played a lot of guys up front, so that was good. We played a lot of receivers, so that was good to see those guys get some confidence that they can go out and play and make some plays. And so, other than that, just a couple nicks and bumps. We may have lost Tillman Johnson for the season. We won't know probably till today as well. But I hope not. I don't like talking about injuries, but I'm feeling confident that he'll be okay and we can get him back.
What is Kane Kirby's tape?
We won't know till later today. That's what I'm waiting on right now. He was at practice last night. We kept him out just for to be cautious and careful. But he was moving around and running. He was doing some drills. It's just one of those things that we'll have to wait and see till it comes back from the doctor.
One guy that's really seems to be playing well for Middle Tennessee is Coach Stock's kid, Brent. Is he, really kind of starting to develop into a pretty dynamic guy?
You can see it. You saw it in development. We saw it throughout the season because we got to see them a lot on film, and we'd look at their film, what they were doing offensively, the teams that we played, and see if we could mirror some of the things they were doing. As most teams do, you look at what they do well and say, how they beating people, and that's what you do. But you could see his growth has gotten better as he continues to play. He's really grown into the position, grown into that leadership role. You can see it on the team, see it in the game film, how much the guys are rallying around him. They've gained confidence in him. He's making a lot of throws, and his ability to run, which creates a dual threat for us, is going to be tough for us and a challenge for us defensively.
You've talked repeatedly about how special teams, specifically kicking, has been a strength of the team. So how big is it to have a guy like Trevor Moore to rely on?
Oh, having Trevor Moore is definitely a plus. I wish we could get him a lot more opportunities. I wish we'd had a chance on Saturday to get inside to give him a chance. But, having him, it's kind of like a security blanket. You always got him in your back pocket, pull him out and let him go. And he's been working extremely hard since the one miss that he had. I believe it was against UTSA, I believe. But ever since then, he seems like he's really focused in. He wants to put some points on the board, and hopefully we get him a chance this week.
How important is it for kickers to have a short memory when you go out there and have a miss like that?
I told him, I said, what miss? You just got to play. It's like anybody else. It's like a baseball player. You strike out 4 times in a row. It doesn't matter. You come up the 5th time and hit a home run, a grand slam. That's what you remember. It's always forget the play, go to the next one, and that's what he does. He does that really well. I think he is able to separate the two and realize that, hey, I got to get ready for the next one. So really impressed with how he's handling it.
One guy I find to be pretty interesting on this team in his path in college football is Michael Vanagoo.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about what he's provided to this team since he's come?
He's such a quiet leader. He's one of those guys that when he does speak for the offensive linemen, I can hear him out there in practice or even in games when when they're on the bench. When he speaks, everybody listens. It's kind of that type of deal with him. He's not a very verbal guy in terms of expressing himself. But when he does talk, people listen because I think he's earned that right in the role that he's come in and waiting for his opportunity to play. And I'm extremely proud of how he's handled it and always been ready to come in and be the guy. And so that part of it, we're extremely proud of him because he's accepted the role. I thought there at one time he may have been an offensive team captain. He was pretty close in the voting. I think he was 3rd in the voting. And just saw that, that's how much people respect him offensively. And then to come out and play like he's had and had the senior year that he's had, I'm extremely proud of him.
Because you guys did pull him there for a while
Mm-hmm.
to play Jordan Murray in there, who's going to be terrific.
Oh, yes.
But it just seemed like he kept working and kept at it.
I think that competitiveness, when you're competing, competition makes you better no matter what. You rise to the occasion. I think that's what he's done. And I think there at the time he kind of got in a lull, and we had to light that fire under him, and he accepted it, and he worked even harder, worked on his craft. You saw him doing it before practice and after practice. Those things are important to him. And then, obviously he's settled in at the spot and extremely happy to have him there.
And it seems like he really rolled the dice to bail on a scholarship at another school.
Mm-hmm.
What was the story behind him coming to North Texas?
Well, he's from Prosper. He's a local kid, so he wanted to come home and play. He played at a Division II school. Felt like he could play at a Division I level, so he rolled the dice. He did, and it's crazy how things work out. I remember him the night before the scholarship was extended to him. He came to Coach Simmons and I and said that I don't know if I can do this. My mom, doesn't have the money for me to pay for school, and we said just hang with it. Maybe good things might happen. And then the next day when we were able to offer it to him, you should have seen the tears. And that's when it's really special and how much it means to somebody when they're in that situation. It's a tough situation for them to pay for school, and then you're able to give them something, and then how they take it, how thankful they are for that opportunity to realize they get a chance to play Division I football, they get a chance to get their education paid for, and the gratitude he gave us and showed us, it's priceless. So that part of it, a special young man.
Is that just one of the rewarding parts of coaching when you're able to help a kid like that who came in and helped you?
Yes, exactly. Yes, here's Caden Kirby. And here's a guy that, he trusted me. I said, Caden, we're going to lose a senior in Aaron Fortenberry. You can come in, you can redshirt, compete for the job, and it's going to be wide open in the spring. And he took a chance because he was on his way, I think, to Abilene Christian or one of those schools down there. And I just said, I promise you. And I looked his mom dead in the eye. She said, Coach Canales, now you promised me you're going to give him a chance. I said, yes, we'll give him a chance to compete. And if he earns a starting job, he's going to get the scholarship, right? And now Kim's pretty direct with me now. We have that type of relationship, We can call each other out. And I remember when we didn't give it to Caden after spring ball, she was the first one to meet me at the gate because she really thought he'd earned the starting position. But we said he's got to go through camp and then really earn it, and then it's his. And he did because he beat Sean McKinney out at that position. And to see the smile on her face, and I said, I told you, just needed to trust me. So she was awful happy. And, many of the kids that we've put on scholarships, same situation.
Has Vanagoo played pretty well for you guys this
He has. There was a time where he was a little bit in that lull, like I mentioned to you, where we thought he should have been playing at a higher level. And then he came back, and he has played. He's played really well, really confident. You feel secure at the left tackle with Mike Bonigo in there.
Well, plus, you're throwing him out there left tackle against teams like Arkansas. That's a pretty high pressure spot to be playing a kid that
Exactly.
in from a Division II school.
Well, this is just the confidence we have. We saw he has great athleticism. You can see it. He's got good footwork, and he's able to get his hands on his long arm kid that's such what you want, at that left tackle, and somebody that can move their feet and so athletic enough to get in front of those DNs. So he's done a good job for us.
Keyshawn McClain has really stepped up on defense, leads the team in tackles. With the loss of Kenny Byers, Cedric Fernandez, how big has he been to this team?
He's that quiet leader. Don't say much. It's taken me a while to kind of him and I kind of like to hit it off. A couple of weeks there, he'd get mad at me because I pulled off his towel, because it was black and not white, and then I won't let him wear his hat backwards, so it took some time. But every time I did it, I said I loved you. I care about you, and I want people to respect you for the player you are. And it's not about what you wear. It's not about how you look. It's about how you play on the field. And he said, Coach, but man, it's the way we are. It's the DBs. It's the DBs. I said, no. I said, you got too many people to look at you. And you got to be a role model. And we want you to be the example, not the distraction. And I think when that kind of hit home with him, I think he realized how important his role is. And, not spatting anymore, all those little things that I think that are important, he realized they are important. And you just saw the leadership that he has because when he's back there and he's talking, they listen. And that's when you hear him the most is on the field. He's about as verbal as anyone I've ever been around. But it's off the field, he's just a little more quiet.
He was a two-way player coming out of high school, played some quarterback. What was the transition like going to the secondary?
Well, he likes to hit people. And that was always a plus. He always wants to hit people. I'm always talking about get his head up. So hit with your eyes, type deal. But, he's an aggressive style player. Knew he'd fit in defensively. That's probably more of his niche. He likes playing the safety. He likes getting downhill. He's more of that box safety, the guy that wants to make the tackles. And that's why he's leading our team, and that's where you see why he's playing like he is.
You depended on some guys in that game against Arkansas who maybe hadn't played a lot when Kirby went out. It looked like you guys played Gunner and Barr there. How did they do?
They did really well. It's unfortunate on that short yardage one where we dropped the ball on the fumble snap. That wasn't because of Gunner. That was DeMarcus who made that mistake. But they both did well. Creighton is about as feisty and as nasty as any offensive lineman you'd want on your team. For a freshman coming in early in spring, he probably had 5 fights in the spring. And he probably had another 5 in the fall. He's that type of competitor. He hates losing anything. And the D-linemen get mad because they'll hold him once in a while, and then they'll swing on him or push him, and he doesn't back down to anybody. He don't care who it is, Him and Sir Calvin Wallace have been in many a scuffles there on the field. But, it's because they want to compete. They want to win. And I think Creighton wants to show everybody, hey, I can compete with anybody. So it was good to see them both get in there in the Tennessee game and how they played and what they did, So that's a positive thing for us.
That's not an easy situation to toss a kid into. Hey, we just lost our center. Kid, go out there against Arkansas. Did those kids just embrace the opportunity and go right out there?
They don't fear. That's the one thing about Creighton, I'll say, and Garrett both. They don't fear. They want the opportunity. Garrett came in our office a week and a half ago crying because he wants to play more. And I'm serious. He tears in his eyes, and we asked him point blank, what are you doing to give yourself? Are you up here watching film? Are you spending time before practice? Are you staying after practice and doing those things? He just wants to play. Well, now he had his chance, and he showed well. Both of them did. So that's a positive thing for us. We can build on, knowing that they're going to have a great career here. We know that they'll both be some fine young linemen for us. And they're going to do some really good things here in their career.
I think those guys are kind of building blocks for the future.
There's no doubt. And even though we know Garrett's got one more year after this, he's going to be able to solidify that offensive line next year for sure. And then Creighton Barr will be competing against whoever's in there. He don't care. He don't care if he has to play tackle. He just wants to play.
I've heard Trevor Moore's workout program is pretty strenuous, kind of workaholic. There's always the joke kickers aren't really athletes. Obviously he takes his job pretty seriously.
Yeah, the guy can bench, over 300 pounds, and he squats over 500, and it's nuts. When he's in the weight room, he's a whole different creature. He's like a monster. I don't get it, but he'd see that from kickers, but I love it because he walks around buffed up, chest out, arm folded. He's always looking in the mirror at his guns, I tell him, keep working, man. You'll get like me sooner or later, type deal. But, it's just fun to watch because that competitiveness that he has. He wants to be great at everything, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's on the field. He just has that competitive nature. But I think the weight room room part of it just shows that, hey, I can work out as hard as anyone on this team, and I want that respect. And I think that's part of why he does it, because he wants respect from his teammates.
There was a tweet that Carlos Harris sent out after the game. Are you familiar with it?
Yes, the 2 weeks out. Yeah.
What's your reaction to that?
Well, I went and talked to him about it, and I said, why did you tweet it, and what was your thought process behind it? Because someone said it to me immediately and said, what's your take on that? So I went to him directly. I went right to the horse's mouth, and I wanted to find out, why did you tweet that? He said, Coach, I didn't tweet 2 weeks, I'm out of here. He said, I tweeted 2 weeks, peace out, because I have 2 weeks to play. That's it, and it's over for me. It wasn't that I'm out of here or I'm leaving this program, good riddance, or anything like that. It was not my intent. He said, my intent was I have 2 weeks to play, and it's going to be gone. And he realizes that. And I said, well, sometimes what you tweet people take differently, and sometimes you need to make sure you clarify how you tweet, and what you tweet. So, we had a heart-to-heart because, at first I was a little upset, and then I said, well, let me go ask him point blank. And he'll tell me honestly. And he said, Coach, I have 2 weeks to play. I want to win these 2 weeks so bad. And I said, and I'm going to give it everything I've got. And I said, Carlos, that's all I can ask of you. But I said, understand, people take the message differently. It's like anything else. If I tell somebody something and he tells somebody else, it's going to go differently. I said, you just have to be careful how you tweet things because people can take it wrong. So I went right to him, and he told me exactly. He didn't hesitate. He told me directly what he meant, and I was fine with it. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.